We've all heard the quote from Benjamin Franklin, "If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail." And there are few times this is more true than starting a new semester in college. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Chelsea Lewis, and on this channel, we talk all things design, productivity, and life as a student, because as of the time of filming, I'm a full-time student working toward a career in design and product management. In this video, I'm gonna show you my process for planning a new semester in college and how I use Notion to set myself up for success as a student. I'm heading into my 5th semester in college after a decade hiatus from formal education. To say my first semester back was a shock is an understatement. My therapist can vouch for that. I felt completely overwhelmed with all the coursework and trying to keep things straight, and I fully believe that Notion is the only reason I succeeded and pulled off a 4.0 that first semester. After 4 semesters of using this system now, I feel like I have worked out all the kinks and gotten into a good rhythm, and I'm ready to show you exactly what I do. So let's jump right in and we'll set up my next semester together, shall we? So taking a look inside of my Notion, I'm gonna show you a few things. Now, I do have a College Hub template that you can see in the description below if you're interested in that. However, it does look a little bit different than this. Some of the things are the same and some are not. So this is my next semester, but I'm going to actually jump over to my course planner. And this is something that you'll see in the College Hub template specifically. That is kind of how I've organized things. So in this top section, you'll see the courses that I've completed. You'll see those arranged by semester, and then you'll see completed and then future. And then as I'm in progress with them, they'll kind of sit in the middle there, like you saw that one before I just moved it. So this is the next upcoming semester, and I will go through and add, because I've already sort of added my courses for the future so that I know like what courses I need to register for the next semesters. And I've laid out the plan so that I know I have enough credits to graduate and that I've completed all of the courses that I'm going to need in order to get my degree. I've already kind of put the courses in there. And then each semester as I go about planning, I will talk to my advisor and I will move things around to different semesters depending on a bunch of different factors, really. If you do the work in advance to put everything in here, it actually goes really smoothly when you're setting up a new semester. So I've already registered for summer 2022 and fall 2022. I've already sort of started the process of setting up summer, but I'm gonna go into my summer semester. And this just actually links to a milestone that I have set up inside of my goal planning system, which I'll do a video soon about my goal planning system. But you can see here, the goal is to get my bachelor's degree. I have the date of when I'm going to complete it. And then this, and there's a whole lot more into the goal planning system itself and how it works with each of the milestones. So in my system, this is the part that's a little bit different than the College Hub template, my system is each semester is a milestone towards the goal. And it is in real life. And then inside of the inside of the projects and milestones databases, those actually link to my Knowledge Hub database. And I'm going to go ahead and hide this title because I don't need it now that that's an option in the newest release of Notion. Inside of my Knowledge Hub, that is where I add each individual class, because a class in my mind is a body of knowledge, right? In a specific topic or subject. And then inside of my Knowledge Hub database, I have a template that sets up each college course, and you'll see that as I go into these. So because these are linked, that course planner that we were just in is showing me Knowledge Hub things that are assigned to college courses, like they are type contains college course. So this is really just a view of my Knowledge Hub. And then I have it grouped by the milestone that it's attached to, and then sorted by the status of the Knowledge Hub item. So if we're going to pop back into this semester, and I'll just show you basically what I do for each of my classes to actually set up the course for the semester. So the first step in my process is to really gather all of the information for my courses. Now, I've kind of already done this with the exception of a little bit more information that I don't yet have. I will have this in the coming weeks, but I wanted to get this College Hub template created and out with kind of a walkthrough video to kind of show you how I handle things like this. So I'll just go in, and because these courses were already added in my planning phase that I talked about, they're already attached to this semester. So really it's just a matter of me going in here, and since there's nothing in here yet, I'll go ahead and delete everything that's here so that you can see exactly what happens. So I go in here here. I usually add some tags. These link to my tags database. In the description, I put the course number because I'll need to know that to actually register for it. And then I have the number of credits added as well. And that's so that I can add up the total number of credits that I have each semester in that course planner that we looked at. This is basically what ends up created in the course planning stage. So when I decide I'm going to add a course to my schedule or to my overall plan, it shows up like this. And then when the semester comes, it's time to go ahead and just add the course. I'm literally going to click this. And it's going to populate the entire system, basically, so that I have all of my coursework here. I have links, and then I'll quickly grab links from my online Canvas page. And then I create a Google Drive folder for each course, and I will grab that link and put it here. And then if there's a textbook, I will add the textbook to my Knowledge Hub individually, and then I will link that here. And then I will upload a PDF file of the course syllabus, and then I have that saved for later too. And then obviously replace all this information with your instructor's information and any other information that might be relevant to, like if they have a Zoom link that you can pop in, you can add that there for easy access, those sort of things. And then after I've added all of the information here, I will go into the coursework section. And this is where I definitely take the time at the beginning to look over all of my assignments and due dates if the professors have published them at the beginning of the course. I occasionally have professors who don't do that and it drives me crazy. But if they do, I go through and put in each and every assignment that will need to be turned in this course, all the way to the end. And yes, it takes time to do at the beginning, but I promise it's the key to kind of staying on top of making sure that you finish everything that needs to be finished and you're prepared to your planning, basically. So you're planning to succeed in the course. So it's really the key to staying on top of things. And so I'll go ahead and just add a couple of sort of test assignments here to show you what that process looks like for me. And then that's really all I do to kind of get ready. And that's because I've done so much of the prep work and I've created this system in advance. And it really it's at a point where it kind of runs itself at this point. So let's say that in the first week of class, we have a discussion and introduce yourself discussion post. That's really common. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say this is the first week of class. Let's say it starts Monday. So this next week, it would be due on Friday, right? And then you can go ahead. I always assign this to the semester. And actually, if you have that already set up, this would actually be for summer. See, I'm in such a habit of assigning to spring semester. So it populates this other information for me so that I can see. These are for recurring tasks. I don't use those for coursework really at all. And then I'm going to go ahead and leave this blank for now because I'll show you the way that I usually go through. So it's just a matter of me adding what the assignment is and what the due date is. And then I don't do anything with this just yet. I leave that alone because it just takes time for me to add. And I'm actually going to add a filter rule here that is projects and milestones contains, and this is going to be summer semester. And what that's going to do for me is make it so that I don't have to add that part in each time. So that really all I need to do is go through here and say assignment number 1 or whatever the assignment is called. I don't know whatever the assignment would be called from your class so that you know what it's talking about. And then I will put in the due date. And let's say that this is going to be due that next week. And then assignment number 2, right? And let's say this one is going to be due that following week. So once these are all added, I go through the whole semester list, and sometimes they're really long and sometimes they're not. It really just depends on the class. I've had classes that have literally had hundreds of things that I've had to input, and I take the time to do it. It doesn't actually take that long to do. All of the information is in here because of those filters that I have set up. And then what I do from here is I go through and look. These are sorted by due date, right? Well, actually they're sorted by done and then by due date and then by due date. So I have two different, this is August Bradley's method of a date that you're actually going to do something and the date that it's actually due, right? I know it's confusing when you hear people talk about two different due dates, but it makes sense in my brain and it works really well for me to use that system. So something cool that I have implemented recently with the use of calendars, this calendar is set up to have a filter on it. That means it's not going to actually show me anything on this calendar. The whole purpose of it is for me to quick schedule. And the reason I like using this, yes, I can go into this and I can quick schedule, but only within like the current month because this automatically is set to default to today. And that's kind of annoying when you're scheduling out for a semester because as you get out, 2, 3 months, you're having to click forward in those months. So what I do is I will automatically just click forward and I'll go through literally 1 month at a time. So we'll start with the current month and I'll drop in. So this is due on the 29th. So I'll say, okay, I'll take care of that on the 27th. And I just grab these handles and drop it on the date that I want it to be done with my due date. And you'll see that nothing else changes about this and it doesn't actually stay in the calendar, but it does set that date for me. So then I'm going to go through to the next month and this one's due on May 6th. So I'm going to say, okay, I'll drop that in on that date. And then I'll go to this one, which is due May 13th. And we'll say I probably would have time to do that day, right? So I go quickly down the list and drag and drop them all. And if I change this forward to June, once I get to June due dates, I can drop everything in really quickly. And I don't have to sit and scroll through and pick the right date on each individual item. It's just a much faster way of getting things scheduled. And I use this sort of scheduler thing in a lot of different places, but this is one of the most useful places to use it. So that is what I do as far as the coursework is concerned. And then honestly, my semester is set up and ready to go. There's really nothing else that I do once I've linked up my syllabus, my campus course page, my Google Drive link. I've added my Knowledge Hub entry for whatever the textbook might be or the books that are associated. And then I simply do like an @ link and link those up. So let's say this is one of my textbooks from, actually, yeah, this one. And I use icons inside of my Knowledge Hub so that I can quickly differentiate things because this is a course with that icon and this is a textbook or a book with that icon. But you can see there's no real other way I might know the difference between the two. They're slightly different titles, but this, let's say that was the textbook. This is how I would link that up. And then I could quickly go into my Knowledge Hub and see a picture of it. And then I'll usually backlink here and say that the reason why I'm reading it is because it's a required reading. And then I'll go through and try to add highlights or things that I take away from specifically reading that book. And then, yeah, it stays linked up to the course so that I know which textbooks were relevant for that course. So that is what I do. I hope this is useful. I don't know how much of it is, but if you want to check out the College Hub template, it really functions very similarly. It has the same sort of template in it. It has the same course planner in it. It functions a little bit differently because it's not integrated to the goal system, but yeah, you're welcome to kind of check that out if you're interested at all. If you're looking to organize your college education in a way very similar to what you saw with mine in this video, I just launched a template that is all set up for you to do that. I'll have it linked in the description below if you're interested in checking that out. It gives you a place to plan your courses and education in a board style view the way that I have. It allows you to take notes, track your coursework, and so much more. It's the system I started with and used for the first 4 semesters of my education. And even today, my system is very similar to what that was, just more integrated into my task management and goal setting system now. So I hope this has been helpful for you or inspirational in some way. As usual, if you have questions, leave them in the comments below. You can also find me on Instagram at Chelsea Lewis Creates. Subscribe if you haven't already, like if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.